Yo, 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 welcome back to another week of Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neal Ruhl. That guy over there is Sam Flannel. He's in for DMAC. We have all of you in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Subscribe to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. Get in there and get your thoughts going. We have KG. We have Spencer Raxter. Fellas, what'd it do?
Hey, I mean, it didn't start out as a great sports weekend, but a Saturday night and a Sunday afternoon certainly made up for everything. So, Red Wings and Tigers, you finished the weekend strong. Good for both of you, especially the Red Wings, and we will certainly get into that.
No, absolutely we will. UFC 300 was legit as well. We won't spend a ton of time on that. I know that's like a specialty area. KG, how's the you're the man of the streets here on this show. You're the man of the city. First off, how is the Detroit sign? Are we still good?
It is still intact from what I've heard.
Okay.
Today notwithstanding.
But you can only go to yesterday. Through Sunday, we have visual that it's fine.
It is confirmed.
It has not been defaced or vandalized.
I'm telling you, it won't get defaced until after the draft. After the draft, watch out.
See, that's all I was at. Oh, and I'm fair with that. See, we reach compromises all the time, KG.
We do.
Just tell the streets to leave it be until after the draft.
I'll do what I can.
Thank you. Relay the message. Thank you. Just a fan. Neal, El Mago is back.
Yep, here we go.
Back, baby.
You can't tell me he not back, man.
Now, I wanted to wait a few minutes to do that. Spencer, how was your weekend, man? UFC slapped, dude. Yeah. So I know you were. You and I were texting.
Yeah, UFC was fire. We had a surprise party for my friend's 30th birthday. That was a lot of fun, and yeah, had a good weekend.
I did too. It was fun. I had the weekend off, which was electric. Had my baby girl's birthday party. Watched UFC that night with my son.
Yeah. Had
to coach my daughter's soccer team for practice yesterday. My son and I also had a soccer game, so it was nice. It was nice to be dad and not have to do all that. But here we go. We're back at it now, so let's get into it. I did want to get into the Red Wings, but first, Flannel.
Yes.
As we said, WoodwardSports.com, just a fan said, Neal, El Mago is back. Sam, DeBrincat is back.
Well, he's actually back, unlike a certain El Mago. But hey, big hit yesterday. You can't deny that. But he's awful.
Okay, well, no, see, that's not what I was told, because I know by now what the deal is. And actually, believe it or not, it's a part of the job I like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't understand it sometimes, but I do enjoy it. I don't know why whenever El Mago gets a hit, everyone's first thought is not to A, be happy for the Tigers, or B, analyze the importance that hit had in the game, or C, say, hey, maybe El Mago can turn the corner. No, that is not the case. The first thing that goes through everybody's mind when El Mago gets a hit is, let me type in @Neal Ruhl on Twitter and tweet to him, quote, El Mago is back.
You don't know why that is?
I don't know why that is.
Really?
But I like it. It's entertaining. It's funny. Spencer Raxter, you were one. Mm-hmm. The first thing that since we have an insider, can you explain to me the first thing that goes through your mind when you see El Mago hit a home run was not good, the Tigers need it. Oh, great, the Tigers are on the board. They scored like one run the last 30 innings.
Yeah.
Your first thought is, I'm going to tweet Neal, quote, El Mago is back. Yeah. Take us through that process.
Yeah, I was watching the game, sitting there chilling. I saw the home run, felt great, and popped out the Twitter fingers immediately. I had to make sure you were watching, make sure.
Yeah. Trigger fingers turned to Twitter fingers.
Make sure Javi Watch is in full effect.
And so you're just contributing to Javi Watch.
Yeah.
You're doing your due diligence. Mm-hmm.
See, he was confident enough to send it right after it happened. I wanted to wait until the Tigers won to send mine, so that's when I sent mine after the game was over.
KG was another one. Sam Flannel, which as an observer, because you haven't participated in these reindeer games as of yet, but as an observer, what's your interpretation? Because I feel like we've created a movement.
Well, as somebody who does shows with you on a regular basis, it certainly is one of the first thoughts that pops into my mind.
Yeah.
And KG, I give you credit, because if Javi would have hit that home run and then they didn't have the rally, you could have easily chalked that up to, it's just a solo home run. What does it actually mean? But at least for one game, you could say that it may have sparked something. By the results of the game, it very much did.
They don't win without that homer.
They don't.
On a pitch he adjusted on, by the way. I will keep emphasizing that. He actually made an
That
adjustment.
pitch basically threw itself over the fence.
Oh,
yeah,
you don't
but
have to apologize for a home
You
run,
still
dude.
got to hit it.
Yeah.
You still got to hit it, Neal.
Okay. Well, all right, look. Chili says that's my first thought as well. Okay, I like it. Let me see. Tyler B. No, Neal, you're wrong. It's pre-typed out. The first thing they do is hit send. Do you keep it in the draft, Spenny?
No.
You should.
I should, honestly.
Right. Preset.
You're like,
Yeah.
Spenny's sitting over there like, that's a pretty smart idea.
Just keep one in the chamber at all times.
Right.
Locked and loaded, man. Locked and loaded. Dante 151. Devontae Smith just got paid by the Eagles 3 years, $75 million, $51 million guarantee. So how much are you
Really?
willing to give St. Brown? A little more than that.
He's going to get
Yeah.
more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
Yep.
everything is slotting nicely.
Yep.
You know, so I'm not worried about that. Greg Rounds. Anytime Elmaga does anything good, Neal's eyes roll into the back of his head. He knows what's coming next. No, that is not the case. Roberto Colosia. Neal Elmago is improving this season. He's only 35th in the American League in strikeouts so far.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so everyone keeps giving me this mounting pile of evidence, right? That Elmago is back. So, being the responsible journalist I am, I send over the Javi Watch information to Spencer Raxter. Spenny, let's go to the tape. Is Elmago in fact back? Because I believe the last time we did this, he was 172. Checks notes, he's 140 now. He is 2 for his last 24.
How do you have? I didn't even know it was possible to have a home run this early in the season and still have an OPS under 4.
Yeah, it's
under
bad.
400. That's impossible.
Well, I can explain it to you. He is 2 for his last 24
Yeah, that's bad.
with 8 strikeouts.
I don't think he has a walk this season yet either.
He has
he
yet to
doesn't.
walk this season.
Oh, no, he did have one because he got hit by a pitch, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he did get hit by a pitch. So technically, he
Did get
got
hit
to
by a
walk.
pitch.
So he has not been walked yet this year.
One walk. Well, yeah, not officially walked, but yes.
He has not taken a walk.
No.
So in the same vein that pitch threw itself over the fence, he essentially was hit, and that is how he got his base on ball.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's levels.
So
to this.
Flannel, you asked, I gave you the math behind it.
Yeah.
How can one have a home run this early in the season and still have a under 400 OPS? Well, it's very simple.
Yeah.
You go 2 for your last 27 or 2 for your last 24, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's your only hit in a week with 8 strikeouts. That's how.
And you never walk. I obviously I'm a big OPS person, a big on-base percentage person. I didn't even know that it was possible to. It looks about the same as it did before he hit the home run. I know his slugging percentage had to go up, so congratulations to that. And that did turn out to be, in retrospect, it did turn out to be a big hit. But yeah, those numbers are syrupy piss water mixed with dog poo. There's nothing. There's no way. It's true.
It is true.
Well,
He's been the worst everyday player in baseball the last 2 years, and his numbers are actually on pace to be worse.
that is facts. But to play devil's advocate.
No,
is
there-
it-
no.
Listen, hold it.
No.
Hear me out. Is it safe to say he hasn't been the worst part of this baseball team so far this year?
That's probably true. It's probably Parker Meadows.
That's not what I was told.
Oh, that's what's happening.
But I was told that's part of the 6-leg rookie parlay, right? Unfortunately for Parker Meadows, you cannot steal first. But however, through it all, they are 9-6. Imagine if the shortstop was even a major league average shortstop.
Yeah.
If they can just get a third of the lineup to start hitting, the Tigers will be in a pretty good spot, I feel
Just
like.
200.
Yeah, just come on.
Just hit 200. I don't think that's much to ask for.
It's not. We kind of got some good signs from Riley Green and Spencer
Yeah.
Tork. They started
Riley
to heat
Green
up a little
looked good.
bit.
He's heating up. Torque got a couple
Which we
hits.
talked about.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Riley Green showed the signs.
Javi has more home runs than Spencer Torkelson, though.
He does.
He does.
Maybe we got to do Torque Watch.
Yeah, seriously.
No, but again, I got confused because the numbers didn't add up. Because I was told by many of you, 50% of the people in this room, as a matter of fact, ran to social media to tell me, in fact, Elmago was back. And then I checked the notes, and his average is down 30 points since Friday.
He's back, baby.
But his average is down over 30 points.
But he's back.
Oh,
The key number is 1 home run.
Yes.
is 1 home run.
That's the key number.
Nova. What do you mean, Neal? He walks back to the dugout after almost every strikeout.
That's
He does.
That's a good point.
He does.
That's fair.
Lorena Rios. My dad had a flannel shirt like Sam's in the 60s.
Hey, I like the 60s were a good time. I don't mind bringing it back a little bit. Short sleeve flannel with it being pretty hot in this room and heating up outside. You're going to be seeing a lot more of these. A lot more of these as the summer goes along. So we'll
Cocaine
learn to
during
love
the
it.
day, too.
Sun's out, guns out for Sam Flannel.
Damn right.
You
Shall
know?
see.
Absolutely. But yeah, woodwardsports.com chat thread. And I don't know why this one just made me laugh, but it did. 40 Gumble. Neal, comma. Elmago is back. why did that one make me laugh? I think the comma made me laugh for
It is
some
the
reason.
comma.
Neal, Elmago is back.
It's like he's tapping you on the shoulder. Hey,
Hey, Neal, were you aware? How are you back and your average goes down 30 points?
it's crazy.
Well,
you
he's
don't,
not back. He's obviously not back.
It's crazy you don't realize why they're doing this though.
Did you guys catch his act with the media after, too?
No, I didn't.
I saw him put his hand to his ear when he was rounding the bases, which is
That's hilarious.
a choice.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, like I said, when you're the worst everyday player in baseball for 2 years and 13 games, doesn't look like it's going to change anytime soon. You're going to get a lot of criticism. I actually think he's probably been softballed a little bit. Like he could get it worse.
Yes.
He could 100% get it worse, but he doesn't.
He should.
He should. He's awful.
Well, and that was the gist of his comments. As a matter of fact, we're live at the Planet Fitness Studios.
Shout
You
out.
see it on the wall. Shout out Planet Fitness. But I was watching. They had his media availability on Bally's on the replay, and he was talking to the usual talking point of, well, it's easy for people to sit behind the net, and no, Javi, you're hitting 140, and I'm being told you're quote back, and that your defense is immaculate, and all those things. That is where you lose me, Javi. You know what? Just go around the bases and try not to strike out 8 times your next 24 at-bats. Try that.
He's back.
Try that. And look, you guys, I think I'm very fair. I think I'm very fair across the board. Is that it? Can you agree with that?
I want to see where you're going with this.
Right first, right. Let's see where it's at. First.
I think I'm very fair because look, I understand, right? I'm a bit of a unique case in that I work for teams here as well.
Yeah.
I'm in the play-by-play. I travel with teams and stuff like that. I'm in a bit of a unique spot, I guess you can say.
Sure.
But I think I balance that very, very fairly.
Okay.
For the most part.
Okay. But the moral of the story is the reason that it's like this with me with Javi is, and I have examples of it. I'm collecting them, by the way. I'm collecting the examples of it for the next 2 for 24 run when we post the Javi Watch and I put it out there. The reason I bring this up is because we are past the part of, well, it's safe for you to sit there behind a net and be critical. You are hitting 140. You are hitting 140. And through all of it, the team's 9-6 and they're a game back. And KG, in the back of my mind, I can't get past this. If they lose this division by a game or by 2 games,
I understand.
and this dude's hitting 190 and he plays 110 games, I have a big time problem with that. And I'll never not have a problem with that. And that's fair.
Yeah, it is fair.
Okay.
I give you that.
Now I know it's April.
Yeah.
So we'll get there, everybody.
He's back. Elmago's back.
Spenny needs to go to Dispo. Tell him where he should go.
Does.
I was just going to say, before we go to break, I did want to shout out my new nephew. He was born over
yes.
the weekend.
Hey.
Yeah. Shout out to Oliver Ray Raxter, my first nephew, my parents' first grandkid. So both mom and baby are healthy. My brother's healthy too, but nobody cares about him. So congratulations to Dylan and Chrissy on the birth of their newborn child.
Yeah, shout
out, man.
That kid's already an actor.
Yep.
That's an actor name.
Oliver Ray.
That's an Oscar-winning actor name. Oliver Ray Raxter.
Yep. 'Cause
Tell me he was not nominated for lead actor.
My grandpa on my mom's side, his name was Ray. And my grandpa on my dad's side, his name was Billy Ray Raxter. And my dad's name is Danny Ray Raxter. So, Oliver Ray Raxter. Shout out to them. Love you guys. Excited to meet him.
Congratulations to your
Yes,
family.
congrats.
Absolutely. Shout out to the Rackster clan. Tell them about Dispo.
Absolutely. Visit Dispo Dispensary on the coveted 420 holiday and experience a team that curates an unbelievable atmosphere, mixed with fresh inventory from Michigan's largest variety of products. Dispo is putting on epic events at each location with thousands upon thousands of giveaways that day. That's right, thousands of giveaways. Go visit your local cannabis plug, Dispo Dispensary, disposhops.com.
Buying your first Feldman Chevrolet is much more than buying the car that will get you from point A to point B. It's a place for first memories, some big, some small. As she grows, you're not just buying her a Chevy, you're buying into a Feldman family. With more than 700,000 vehicles sold, from generation to generation, Feldman just keeps rolling.
You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports. Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
The Boys and Girls Clubs of Southeastern Michigan and Jerome Bettis, the Bus Stops Here Foundation, is proud to present the 3C Sports Conference to educate, inform, and inspire players, parents, and coaches in our local communities, featuring impactful speakers like the Bus, Jerome Bettis, Eddie George, and Adam Schefter, April 24th through the 26th. For more info and for tickets, scan the QR code on the screen, or you can sign up today. Again, that QR code is on the screen. Be there for the Boys and Girl Clubs of Southeastern Michigan 3C Sports Conference. All right, we are off and running on a Monday. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Sam Flannel in for DMAC KG. New Unk in the house, Spencer Rackster as well.
Shout out to El Gato in the Woodward Sports chat. He says Spenmo is the corrupt uncle now. Congrats. Thank you all. Thank you all. Appreciate you all.
Is that true? I feel like it might be.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna buy
You'll wait, though, right?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to be. I'll wait.
Burn in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Winfield Perez is looking nice.
He had a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amongst the Tigers BS, he had a day.
No doubt. No doubt. But yeah, they ran with the devil, but they did eke out a split with the series.
Yeah.
So
Stop the bleeding, yes.
So they were able to do that to some degree. All right, the Red Wings.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it, man.
talk about
I
it.
think
Flannel?
Sam is the man of the hour here, man.
Your thoughts, Sam Flannel.
Well, obviously the job isn't finished yet. That was a huge win, though, and I didn't think that they could do it, and I was wrong. So when it comes to the Red Wings saving their season by beating Toronto in a game on the road that I thought they had no chance of winning, I'm just going to sit here and eat a little bit of crow.
Yeah.
Some of the best tasting crow you'll ever find, because I was happy to be wrong, but
Were you, though?
Yeah.
of course.
Hey, Alex DeBrincat heard you. That's all I know.
I'm not going to take credit for that. Like, I know that this would be an opportunity to do so, but I kind of lost faith in him, and he's had a marvelous 2 consecutive games, 5 points in 2 games, including 2 goals in the first period to help the Red Wings take a 4-1 first period lead, which is exactly the kind of start that you need to have, especially after the Red Wings had previously dropped 2 what were then must-win games, although they did get a point against Pittsburgh. But it wasn't just DeBrincat. We've all known, even during this really, really rough stretch since the last game of February against the Islanders, the Wings have had some games in which they've I would say, stared down the barrel of death and then pulled one out. Like against Columbus, for example. Columbus, they were down with under 30 seconds left, 1 goal in the third period. If they lose that game, it's really, really bad. They get the equalizer in the third period with about 12 seconds left, and then they get the game winner in overtime, Patrick Kane. The game against the Tampa Bay Lightning, after they had went on that brutal road trip, 0-2-2, they get a win over Tampa Bay, and then this win against Toronto was another one in which they staved off elimination, because even after that first period, they gave it right back to Toronto in the second period. It was 4-4. But in that third period, I got to give the Red Wings some credit. They didn't lay down. They didn't die. James Reimer played fantastic. They killed a late penalty, which was absolutely huge after Patrick Kane got called for a high sticking, and then they drew a power play, which carried on over into overtime, and pretty much once it was in overtime, they didn't mess around. 4-on-3 is a huge advantage. It was Gottisbehere to Kane, shoots one to the beginning, tap in by Larkin, and that was all she wrote. And by the way, how about that Dylan Larkin celebration? That man,
He was hype.
As somebody who's had some celebrations that maybe weren't the coolest things aesthetically, when you really feel it.
Hold on.
Yes.
No more accurate description has ever been made in the history of Woodward sports. Sorry,
Right.
proceed.
No, but as it takes one to know one. And Dylan Larkin, I know that every NHL player and coach is competitive, especially with what Dylan Larkin has dealt with during his time on the Red Wings. I truly believe that nobody wants this more than him. And there was definitely some catharticness to the way he was celebrating. And I was just very, very happy for him. And now the Red Wings, they put themselves in a situation where I wouldn't say they're completely in the driver's seat. Pretty much every single team that's like the Capitals, the Flyers, and the Penguins, they all hold the tiebreaker. But I don't believe Washington is going to go 2-0. I really don't. So I think if the Red Wings can win one and at least get a point in another one, they're in. And another thing, just before I pass it back to you, Neal, it wasn't just DeBrincat. In the first period, you had Perron with a goal, a depth piece. You had Edvinsson with a goal and a 6 celebration, by the way. He's not what I'd call a depth piece, but you don't really count on him for a goal scoring. And then you had Comfer with a couple assists. So that's usually the formula.
Weird, huh?
Hey, that's usually the formula. When the stars show up and the depth pieces show up and they play just well enough defensively and goaltending-wise, they usually win. Even during this stretch, they usually win those kind of games. So congratulations to the Red Wings. I was definitely wrong. I didn't think they'd be able to beat Toronto, and they proved me wrong. And it was such a huge win. Every game, it seems like, is the biggest win of the Yzerman era because this is the first real playoff chase in the Yzerman era. So congratulations. Now go do it again tonight.
BD3 Thought Criminal says El Mago is back with an exclamation point. That doesn't quite do it for me as much. I mean, I'll read it, but, that one doesn't pop me in the same fashion. Nick Lucido, keep El Mago away from LCA and the Red Wings. Well, they'll be busy. They have a game tonight at the same time. So fortunately, he'll be in the vicinity of LCA, but I think the I-75 right there acts as a good buffer to keep any El Mago-ness away from LCA. So, there is that there. Alan W., we need to roll with the same lines from the Maple Leafs game. Well, Alan W., that's kind of what I brought up, where, the whole Larkin, Raymond, DeBrincat line that was a force in the game against Pittsburgh, was in fact a force again in the game against the Maple Leafs.
Hey, I'm not going to call him Alex Kubalik, at least for a couple more games. That was a marvelous performance, back on top of the one that he had in the previous
technically
game.
He didn't live up to what he did the game before, where he had 3. He didn't have as many points on Saturday night as he did the game before.
No, 5 in 2 games though. That's the type of late season turnaround that
And that's my point, Flannel. Because to quote Metallica, nothing else matters.
And nothing else matters.
Nothing else. This is it. This is the only thing that matters right now going forward. That's all it is.
The only pushback I will give to that
is you were going to get overly granular. Go ahead.
They don't technically control their own destiny. If they did, I would more so agree with you. But if they went out,
so would 2 wins get them in?
I believe so.
Okay,
I believe so.
Well, then there you go. Then what's the problem?
That's controlling destiny.
It's not control their destiny though, because the Capitals.
So you don't think they'll get in with 2 wins?
Just 2 wins won't get them in.
They
need a loss from both teams.
Well, that's the thing. Would it be the most shocking thing in the history of mankind if the Capitals went out to?
No.
I don't think it's likely, but it's not technically controlling your own destiny. But as I've said before, and this is where I'm going to be fair, the Red Wings, they don't have to apologize for a damn thing if they make the playoffs. Not a damn thing.
They only need a loss by Washington.
Yeah.
With 2 wins. That's all they need. There are no other teams. Pittsburgh's behind them. Philadelphia has 1 game left. That's it.
Well,
They're done.
that is true,
If you're working on the preface of the Red Wings win 2 games, Pittsburgh and Philadelphia are not in this equation. It is strictly Washington and the Red Wings.
but are we a home and home is tough. I know that
100% it's
I know
tough.
That, I know it's
Montreal's playing. Montreal and Buffalo have been very helpful to the Red Wings coming down the stretch.
Absolutely.
People forget that.
Absolutely, and hopefully they can be helpful to the Red Wings in these next couple of games. It's just that's why I said job's not finished. That was a hell of a win going into Toronto, one of the better regular season teams in the NHL over the last 5 years, and getting a big road win. But the job is certainly not finished. If they follow that up, and I don't want to speak that into existence or anything. If they follow it up with a home dud to Montreal, then it's all for naught, pretty much.
Well,
I don't think
those
that
are
they
the
will, though.
stakes. Yeah,
I don't think
mean,
that they will, though.
That's the way that it works. They're over a 2-1 favorite tonight. You got to win. Tonight's a non-negotiable. Tonight's a non-negotiable, man.
Yeah.
Non-negotiable.
Hopefully, it's not like the Capitals game where they outplay them, but they just run into a hot goaltender. That just can't happen tonight. And if it does, I don't even want to put that energy out there. They're going to win tonight. They have to. Montreal blows. They do.
But I do want to give everybody a little bit of because I know you do this, and I've heard people around town do this. Like for whatever reason, everyone runs to that Arizona Coyotes, series and brings that up and stuff like that. The Coyotes are better than the Canadians are, right? They were better at home. They're better than them this year. Like that's what my point of bringing that stuff up is. Like the road games are hard to win.
Absolutely.
They're a 50-50 proposition. But today's a non-negotiable.
Yeah, today is certainly a non-negotiable. And this is where the Red Wings can right some wrongs. Because I heard the show when you talked about how we were all looking at the game at Arizona as just, we're going to win, no doubt about it. And then, of course, the Red Wings didn't win, and they didn't win the game at home either. Road games are tough in the NHL, and it's not like the Coyotes are the Blackhawks or the Ducks or the Sharks or anything like that.
No.
They've won some games.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
David Sparkman, you don't get to do this, and I'll explain why. Toronto had nothing to play for. They're locked into their playoff spot. Well, number one, they weren't that night. And number two, did they look like a team that was just out there like, hey, we're locked into our playoff spot? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so at all. Austin Matthews didn't look like somebody that was just, whatever, I'm locked into the spot, bro.
I don't want to get 70 goals.
Yeah. You don't get to do that, David Sparkman. That's a win in Toronto where they threw everything they had. That second period was a tidal wave. I don't watch Toronto every single night. I'll be honest about that. However, that being said, I can't imagine that they played too many periods this season better than that second period.
And that's what I don't want to get into either, because as somebody who had more or less given up on the Red Wings, I'm not going to they don't have to apologize for a win. I mean, Austin Matthews, he wanted that 70th goal bad. It looked like there were a couple of times where he had a couple of chances on the power play. And shout out to James Reimer and shout out to the Red Wings for killing that one. It's just the Maple Leafs, as I've said before, we can laugh at them for their franchise and for choking in the playoffs every year. But as far as talent goes, as far as a regular season winning hockey organization, that's what the Maple Leafs are right now. And the Red Wings on the biggest stage, after losing a couple of heartbreaking, at the time, must-win games, got a must-win at Toronto. You don't have to apologize that for a second. And I will eat all of the best-tasting crow in the world for thinking that they couldn't do it. I didn't think they could do it, and they did. Bravo.
Burn. Bruins are locked in, and they kick the piss out of the Penguins. Well, see, guys, again, I want to get into that. I want to get into that angle because I know we're new to this because it's been almost a decade. So I want to get there. Tell them about Guardian Alarm. We'll come back, and we'll get into this. There are some things that have happened in the last decade of the NHL that we're going to address. But go ahead, Sam Flannel.
Yes, let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts. Our professional technicians take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. 24/7 professional monitoring. Call us anytime, day or night, and know that a Guardian team member will stay on the phone as long as needed. Technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology that's been proven to work and people have been proven to care. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT. That's 1-800-STAY-OUT. Guardian Alarm, your local security experts.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
Is that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? See what I did there? Go Red Wings! From Octopi Experts Woodward Sports. Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
The new glorious ice water bubble hash pre-roll, now with diamonds, constantly pushing to create the best cannabis experience. The perfect boost comes from the added touch of pure THC diamond dust, allowing flower with only the highest terps, making the best even better. Glorious Cannabis, check us out at your local retailer or gloriouscanna.com.
All right, keeping it pushing here. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal, Ruhl, Flannel, Sam in for DMAC, KG, Spencer, Raxter, all of you in the Woodward Sports chat thread as well. Subscribe to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel, and since you're subscribing, Big D Energy Podcast. Rewind, fast forward, do all of it out there for you. But yeah, we talked about Burns' comment going to the break. The Bruins are locked in, and they kicked the piss out of the Penguins. Now, Burn, remember, the Bruins have a 1-point lead for the division title right now. One singular point. And here's the angle. Panthers only have one game left. They're like the Flyers. They have one game left. If the Bruins beat Washington tonight, they clinch the division, which is big because you lock up that Atlantic Division title and you lock into the number 2 seed.
Yep.
So that is big. There aren't a lot of people like lining up wanting a piece of, Carolina in the first round of the playoffs or stuff like that. So
Nope.
You want to get the best road, the best path that you can get. So everybody's got a lot going on right now. The only team that's like truly locked in now to where they are the Maple Leafs. Toronto. They're that third spot in the Atlantic. That's not changing. Austin Matthews won 70 goals. That's about all they got popping right now. But yeah, it's very, very simple. I think Boston's like a minus 155 favorite tonight in Washington. Red Wings are minus 210. So this whole thing could look a lot different tonight.
Man, I hope to do that show. I hope to do that show tomorrow on Wake Up Woodward, where the Red Wings get a win and the Capitals get a loss. And if Boston can somehow beat Pittsburgh on the road and Washington on the road in back-to-back games to greatly help the Red Wings, I'm not saying that I'm going to root for them in the playoffs or anything like that. But I will be grateful because they will have played as big a role as any team except for the Red Wings, if the Red Wings are able to make the playoffs this season. No,
absolutely. So that seems to be the path for the Red Wings here tonight, a win against the Canadiens tonight, a win against the Canadiens tomorrow, which is certainly, as we talked about, is very, very tough. So, we'll see how it all shakes out. I do like some of the people's discussion, though, about I would like to see the lines remain the same, too. The goalie thing, I know everybody gets worked up about the goalie and what should they do, and you have sports networks around town. Who should be the goalie tonight? And by the way, speaking of networks around town, it must be nice to be able to sit there and live on both sides of it and say, this is a gag, this is a choke. And then your next Saturday night at 9:38, you're like, the Red Wings are right back in it. You know what I'm saying? That's got to be a great existence, Flannel. I don't know why that is. I can't speak for other people. But that's got to be a great existence to just, maybe because you're selling a narrative or a bill of goods. I don't know what you're selling. But that's got to be nice, right?
Here's where I got
Tell me about it, Flannel. You're like this.
You know what? I have to give you credit, Neal. And this is genuinely sincere. We all know how ugly it's looked overall since the last game of February. I believe now they're a 6-12-3 in their last, what would that be, 21 games. However, you were the one that kept hammering the point that they're not done. They're not out of it. That you actually said that you might even place a bet on them, or you would place a bet on them, a great value bet to make the playoffs. So you were always the one that wasn't panicking. And I got to give you credit today, because was I a little bit prisoner of the moment? Maybe. Did I obviously didn't think they'd go into Toronto and win. I was really upset at the Penguins game. I was really upset. I wasn't so much upset by how they played against the Capitals. I felt they had let too many slip away, like against the Coyotes, for example, that home and home, to be able to just fall victim to a hot goalie while outplaying the Capitals. But as you said, that win against Toronto, and now everything looks different. It's very likely, at least according to the odds, that tomorrow we're talking about the Red Wings having 87 and the Red Wings having 89 and the Capitals having 87. That's not a bad spot to be in.
Right, because then they would be an overtime loss away from locking up the playoffs. And my stance on that won't change, by the way. That's still stupid. That's still stupid that because a game goes to overtime, all of a sudden there are 3 points up for grabs instead of 2. Yeah. You'll never convince me otherwise. That because a game goes to overtime, all of a sudden there are 3 points up for grabs instead of 2. Make it make sense to me.
Well, this is where I also have to give you credit, because the Red Wings greatly benefited from that against the Penguins.
Nowhere near as much as Washington has, or the Islanders have.
The Islanders, but in certain scenarios, it happened against Florida, and it happened against the Capitals earlier on too. So even when it benefits the Red Wings, you've at least been steadfast that it's a dumb rule that shouldn't be in existence. So I have to give you credit for that. You're not somebody who's just like, man, I hate that it's benefited the Islanders so much. But then when it benefits the Red Wings, you're like, great rule. You haven't done that. I give you credit for that.
Yeah, I mean, they've still won 2 more games than the Islanders, they've won 1 more game than the Capitals. So we would be in a situation tonight where, if the rules made sense, if they didn't magically explain that to me. If a game goes to overtime, suddenly there's 3 points up for grabs. KG, and you got that KG look on your face right now, because I'm right. There is no logical explanation for that.
It's not.
None you can. Thank you.
I just love that you attack it so much. That's all.
It's stupid.
It is stupid.
As I've always said, it's not about being right. It's about adjusting to what the reality is. And was it since after the lockout when this has been in place and they developed the shootout and everything? It just is the way it is right now. I don't love it either. I don't hate it as much as you do. I don't think anybody does. But right now, it just is what it is. And the Islanders are going to get the 3rd spot in the Metro Division because of it. We're going to see them in probably. Aren't they? Where are they at right now?
They're at New Jersey tonight, and then they play the Flyers the final game.
Capitals would have to win, which would be another. Man, the Capitals and the Flyers. No, the Capitals could still get the 3rd spot in that division too. This is just
this is what all of a sudden 3 points being up for grabs when just 2 were up for grabs for 60 minutes, but then for 5 minutes 3 points are up for grabs.
But it makes things. And this is probably what Gary Bettman was thinking about. It makes things exciting. It makes these races go down to the wire, because you had mentioned it. I thought that the Islanders had it locked up, but technically they don't. And the Islanders could actually find themselves out of the playoffs.
And is it again with the Islanders? You're talking about a 500 team.
Below 500.
Is it? Yeah, is it that outlandish to say they would lose a road game at New Jersey and then lose to another 500 team in the Flyers? No,
nope, not at all. Not at all.
Once you look through this stuff, you understand. You start to see a path where you're like, wow, we're dealing with really volatile teams here.
Yeah, but as I've said before, I just hope that the Red Wings' poor stretch of play will cost them less than other teams' poor stretches of play, like the Capitals, for example,
Let me ask
the
you
Flyers,
this.
like the Islanders.
Say they win tonight, because it would be bad.
Yeah, 100%.
It would be bad if they lost tonight. Say they win tonight, and they win, or even they lose, or say whatever happens. They don't make the playoffs. Does that win on Saturday and a win, quote unquote, tonight, does that soften the blow a little bit?
No,
because So Flannel, no. You'll be there tomorrow. If they lose 3-2 tomorrow, but the Capitals win both their games anyway, and the Capitals get in, you'll be like, it's a failure. Steve Yzerman's a failure. I'm back, baby.
No.
This is trash. This is unbelievable. This is egregious. Heads have to roll.
Nope. Steve Yzerman will have not been a failure. This season will have been one. And I definitely have some, I've got some thoughts about Derek Lalonde, for example.
Oh.
That would be one who I would maybe put my ire at. Because, and this is where I have to give Lalonde and the Red Wings some credit. I thought that they would lay down after giving up a 4-1 lead to a Toronto in the second period. Because there are some comments that I've been hearing from Derek Lalonde that make me believe he's a little bit of a squish and maybe not enough of a red ass, unlike Dylan Larkin, for example, who after the Penguins game actually looked like he was about to cry. And I don't blame him for the record. So I think this season will have been a failure. 100%. It's been pass fail for me, playoffs or bust. I'm not saying fire Steve. I'm not saying everything is just, oh my God, we have to tear everything down. I'm just saying it.
So then it's not a failure.
It is a failure.
But you don't want anything to change.
Maybe Lalonde. I would look into Lalonde. I would. I really would. 100%. Coaches, there's a lot of coaching turnover in the NHL. It happens every single year. I would not be upset if they missed the playoffs and fired Lalonde.
Sergey question mark?
I'll just put that out there.
Don't tease me like that.
Sergey question mark? I'm just saying.
91.
Just saying, man.
91. Right there. NHL 94.
I see it. Looks good.
Don't tease me like that, everybody. WoodwardSports.com chat there. The away fan reminds me of weatherman Neal. One day wrong, next day correct, still gets a check on Friday. No, the away fan, like, the reason I bring that up is because I don't change with the wind. You know what I'm saying?
No,
I give you guys, am I 100% correct all the time? No, nobody is.
You are consistent.
I tell you why I think the way that I think. What do you got, Spenny? Oh, nothing. Okay. No, I tell you why. Like, I give you the thought out reasons. I draw these reasons from experience, from being in sports for a long time, from traveling with teams and knowing kind of the ebbs and flows and the nuance of how a season, like a guy like Flannel just looks at it linearly and says, well, you were 12-4 over the last 16. Why aren't you already locked into the playoffs? Not understanding that they are not a 12-4 team, that they are, an 8-8 team that had a 12-4 run, which means, a 4-12 run is coming. Like, he doesn't get that.
And everything is just fine. Just go 4-12 in a 16-game stretch, and everything is
no.
fine.
They are a
awesome.
500 team. Yeah.
It's actually proof of how great everything is.
No, Flannel. It's proof that they're a 500 team, because that's what they are.
They're a 500 team, and there's a shit ton of 500 teams in the NHL right now.
Right. And how have they been coming down the stretch? How have the Capitals been?
Not good. Flyers not good. Penguins good.
No. They went on their 10-2 run, right? What run were they on before that, Flannel?
Well, but
when they said remember when we all talked about it, me included, and said, well, the Penguins are dead. F them, they're dead.
No, they're not dead.
Then they went 10-2.
Yeah.
Because they had just got done going 2-10.
But to me, it's all about whose implosion cost them the most and whose implosion cost them the least. And let's hope that the Red Wings implosion didn't cost them anything, because as I've said before, I don't care if they back into the playoffs. I don't care if they played poorly the last couple of months of the season. If the Red Wings make the playoffs, you do not have to apologize for a second. I will give them their congratulations, and I will give them their flowers. However, if they don't, I will be disappointed and say that it's a failed season. There's currency in making the playoffs. I don't care by how much. You give yourselves a chance. I'm not saying a good chance. I think they'd lose in the first round, but you give yourselves a chance.
Matt Boss says expectations change, though. Based on what? Matt, they were always a 500 team.
No, but at one point of the year, they were 33, 20, and 6.
Uh-huh.
You don't just get to implode and have everything be fine. I'm sorry, you don't.
I got to agree with Flannel on that.
You don't.
It's kind of a collapse.
Is it an implosion if that's what you are?
But it doesn't have to be who they are.
Yeah. So if they went 4-12 and then 12-4, then everything's cool.
It's not cool if you don't make the playoffs. It is cool if you do. That's what I've always said from the beginning. I will never, ever.
So their problem was to Matt's comment where the expectations change. So if they go 4-12 in a stretch and they're cooked, and then turn around and go 12-4. Then everything's all right.
No.
Everything's fine.
It's about making enough plays and winning enough games when they matter versus going on stretches in which it costs you or it doesn't. It's not about when you do it. It's how much you win and how many And how many of Alex DeBrincat's stretches where he was great? I'm just using him as an example, like the first month of the season in the last 2 games. Do they balance out? Do they overtake the stretch where he had 1 goal in 20 games? To me, it's about how often you win. It's not about when. It's about enough to make the playoffs, or you didn't do enough to make the playoffs.
Like a skid is one thing, but a 4-12 skid when you were 12 games above 500, I mean, that's pretty bad.
But they went on a 12-4 run to get there. Like Tactile Puma says, 33-20-6, 500 in Neal's brain. Well, Tactile Puma, that's where they are right now with a whole season of data. 33-20-6 coming off a 12-4 heater. So you left out a key component of all that there, guy.
But what did it take for them to get to 500? A little bit of a collapse.
Yeah.
And they might right the ship. Getting a point against the Penguins, I know you hate it, but it still counts. Getting that point, getting that win at Toronto, hopefully sweeping the home and home against Montreal. Then you can look at the end of the season as not a collapse if they finish the season strong. But we shall see. That's up to them right now.
If your closet doesn't have any Woodward Sports merch in it, your closet is collapsing.
What are you doing?
What are you doing? Absolutely. You guys need to get to woodwardsports.com/shop. Get the Stoke Not Scared shirt. Get the Brad Holmes guy shirt. That needs to be the centerpiece of the closet as we gear up for the NFL draft. It's hoodie season still. It's beanie season still. I like the way, too, it's like 78. Yesterday was awesome.
Yeah.
But then, like at 8:30, all of a sudden it was like 55 degrees. But that's April. I can deal with, everybody. Okay, that one I can deal with. But it's still hoodie season. It's still beanie season. Go to woodwardsports.com/shop. Baseball, football, basketball, hockey. There's a Woodward Sports golf line as well. woodwardsports.com/shop.
And with the first pick in the 2024 Media Draft, Detroit selects Woodward Sports. Thank you for making us the #1 digital network in Detroit.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists. Enjoy a precision haircut, hot lather neck shave, scalp and neck massage, and a hot towel treatment to top it off. Enter for your chance to win the $50,000 Perfect Bracket Challenge. With more than 25 Metro Detroit locations, there's always a Lady Jane's near you. Lady Jane's Haircut for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome. Wake up every day with Woodward Sports' new morning show, Wake Up Woodward. Start your day with Wake Up Woodward, Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. right here live on the Woodward Sports Network. Kool-Aid, Flannel, Sam, Broder, JB, and KG. Every morning, they discuss all Detroit sports, sports talk, banter, live fan interaction, all on Detroit's #1 sports network. Let me say that again to you. Detroit's #1 sports network. It's not an opinion. It's a fact. It's Woodward Sports. All right, keeping it pushing, everybody. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Flannel Sam in for DMAC. DMAC will be back tomorrow. KG, Spencer Raxter as well. And I always say this. We're speaking about like Detroit sports networks and things like that. I will take our viewers, listeners, however you consume it, I will take ours over theirs any day of the week because you guys can carry segments. You guys can create segments.
Yep.
You guys have a base of knowledge. Most of you. Not all of I mean, you look at any group, there's exceptions to the rule.
Yeah, Brandon Katz.
To be fair, Catspot every now and then has a good one.
Yeah.
Every now and then.
Is it because he's a lawyer?
He trained as one, so maybe that's it. I don't know the why. This segment right here is brought to you by Danny G in the chat because I want to do it now. Danny G, dog, getting swept in the playoffs and missing the playoffs by an inch isn't that different to me. It is to Flannel, Danny G. It's not to me either.
Oh, here we go.
It's not to me either. There's
Round
not this
45.
it's not this franchise-altering difference to getting cooked in the playoffs and not making the playoffs the same way it is to Sam Flannel.
I don't understand. Have I really said anything about it being franchise altering? Okay, maybe firing the coach, which I would be okay
Is that
with.
franchise altering?
I suppose, but like I said,
So then it is franchise altering.
I just don't like what I'm seeing from him in a post-game interviews. There seems to be no urgency.
Yeah.
When I said that Lorena Rios thinks I said a swish. I mean a squish, as in, oh, it's fine. We got the point against Penguins.
Soft.
I'm so
Yeah.
proud
Saying
of my
he's soft.
team.
Just come on and say it.
Absolutely.
to be here
although,
anyway.
although the team did show they showed some grit at Toronto, so maybe I was a little wrong on that as well. If you make the playoffs, there's no guarantee that you're going to get swept. I mean, I've said it before. This isn't the NBA. I'm not saying that 8 seeds beat 1 seeds all the time, but it did happen last year. It did happen with the Columbus Blue Jackets in 2019 against probably the greatest regular season hockey team I've ever seen, in which Nikita Kucherov had one of the greatest individual seasons I've ever seen in 2019. Things happen. And I would love to see guys like Seider and Larkin and Raymond, for example, get some playoff experience, especially Dylan Larkin. If you don't want it for yourselves, want it for him even more. That man has been through so much, and just the way that he celebrated after that goal, that's a man right there that could use some playoff hockey, along with certainly guys like Seider and Raymond. I'll even throw Edvinsson into that as well, because he's been a big part of this team since he's been brought up. One of your best defensive players.
Did Larkin go to a Frozen Four with Michigan?
I believe so.
You just want to see him overcome the disappointment, right?
Hey.
And I don't know that they lost in the Frozen Four with Dylan Larkin, but I'm assuming they did.
I've never ran from the fact that Michigan hockey are Frozen Four chokers. They've been to 9 in a row and haven't won a
I'm
natty.
kidding. Everybody calm down.
They've been to 9 in a row.
I mean, nine in a row without winning a national championship. So that's what I mean. It's like Michigan State with 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've been to
The MSU of hockey.
their last 9 Final Fours have not resulted.
So they're
in
the Big
national
Ten
champ-
basketball of the Frozen Four.
That's
Right.
fair. I mean, Purdue again, bridesmaids.
Yeah, eat shit, Purdue.
Hey, that's the thing. Michigan's
You know what? On a side note, and I didn't mean for this to turn into this because Danny G brought up a great point that I do want to discuss a little further. But Matt Painter's a part of that. Like, because I got a buddy of mine that's a Matt Painter loyalist, right? Loves him. Is it a coincidence he's an Al Avila guy? Maybe.
Oh,
maybe it is.
man.
Maybe it's not. But anyway, I digress. So I got a buddy that's a Matt Painter loyalist, and he's like, what are you going to say about Matt Painter now? Nothing other than the fact that now he has shared blame in this Big Ten lineage of not winning a national title since 2000, since
out.
standard definition television.
He did.
He's a part of it now.
He upped his legacy. He did up his legacy, though. Getting to a Final Four and getting...
He bumped it so high that now he's a part of that lineage of the Big Ten not being able to get it done when it matters most.
I mean, but that's not a bad lineage necessarily. You've got John Beilein in that lineage, for example.
Same.
You've got, well, there's levels to this. Beilein's a better coach than Painter. You've got was Bo Ryan their coach when Wisconsin? You got Bo Ryan in this, a really good coach. You've got Bruce Weber, who did it with Illinois. Michigan State's done it in 2009. They've constantly been bridesmaids.
I just wanted to bring that up, though. I did. But I am curious to get the people's thoughts on that. Is there a difference? KG, where are you at with that? Say you make the playoffs. You got to play Boston or the Rangers. You get cooked 4-0. Maybe you're down 3-0 and you win that game 4. You know what I'm saying? You get cooked 4-1.
I mean,
is there a huge difference in that to you?
To me, it's not, because if you get to the playoffs and you get swept, then I mean, what's the point of getting in the playoffs if you know you're not going to go very far? To me, you can have criticism of the team if they, don't make the playoffs, but if they do and they get swept, I don't see much of a difference between the two.
I think there is a difference. I think there's a pretty big difference because, first of all, the NHL playoffs, anything is possible. Like Kevin Garnett, we've seen it before. We saw it happen last year where Boston lost in the first round. So if you make the dance in the NHL playoffs, you can make some things happen. On top of that, getting the experience of playing an NHL playoff series will be huge for guys like Lucas Raymond, Mo Seider, Simon Edvinsson, the younger guys that you want to be a part or that you feel like are going to be a part of this resurgence of the Red Wings. So getting into the playoffs is extremely important for these guys, for what they're going to build towards. And am I crazy to say we might be able to squeak past Boston? I don't think it's going to happen. If it's the Rangers, no. No. But Boston, you beat Boston a couple times already this year. You can beat them. I wouldn't put my house on it,
Yeah.
but it's not an impossible feat if they get Boston.
And then there's, for me, like, yes, do I want him to get in? Yeah, obviously I want him to get in, because you know what I want? And this is what I love, because I don't get to do it all that much. But I want to, like, depending on when these games are, I want to sit down on the couch and just total free roll. You know what I'm saying? Just an absolutely total free roll. Like, yeah, we're going to get cooked. But we're up 1-0 at the end of the first period here in game one. All right, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've come to like the ride. Like, I like this right now with the Red Wings, because, like, I know why everybody gets so amped up about, you know, we've sucked in this town forever, and, you know, I want to get to the playoffs. I want to win. I, honest to God, think that we have forgotten what this part of it is like. Like, there is a process. You don't just show up and then all of a sudden, boom, you win a championship.
Sure.
You know, like, there's pain, there's growing pains that have to go through. There are steps you have to take as a franchise, because they're not good enough right now. Like, the Lions franchise, to win a Super Bowl last year was probably not good enough, right?
Right.
The roster was probably not good enough.
Yeah.
And we even said it, like we talked about, they're probably, when you break this whole thing down, there's probably like another year of talent acquisition before we say, all right, now here we go.
Well, but I think the Lions, and I know we're not talking about the Lions, but for the Lions, this is the year where it's like, here we go. To me, it's super.
Well, you have this draft, which is your step of talent accumulation, and then we ride. You know what I'm saying?
Had a really good free agency too, or at least it appears so.
It appears so.
Yeah, it appears so.
They look like they're in the final phases, like they're done stretching.
Yeah.
They've hydrated. They're ready to run the marathon. You know, they're waiting for the gun to go off now. So, like, I think that we forget that. And part of this, and you go back to any of the great teams in this town, like the Red Wings dynasty. People forget about that. I mean, well, they don't hear on this show because D-Mac talks about it because he lived it.
Yeah.
That was brutal. That was brutal to get to that point. The Pistons was the same thing. Like, people forget Isaiah Thomas came to the Pistons what they are now. Mm-hmm. And Isaiah Thomas walked in the door and dragged that team to greatness.
He did.
Single-handedly almost.
Took some lumps along the way.
Single-handedly. He was the star piece.
I mean,
The star piece of it.
Here we go. Flannel with the fun, please.
What's that?
Joe Dumars won a Finals MVP. So
Well, I understand that. But you know what I'm saying? Like, in terms of altering the trajectory of the franchise, that was Isaiah Thomas.
most certainly, most
There's
certainly.
no mistake.
No, most certainly. And I know we're not talking about this, but my point is that they accumulated a lot of great players as years went on. Even in the year where they got Isaiah Thomas, they got Kelly
Right.
Tripucka, for example.
Well, and then, like, Kelly Tripucka was a point guy. He got you to a point,
Right,
and then you had to upgrade.
100%.
Like, don't act like that didn't happen.
No, 100%.
Who was the pillar? Isaiah Thomas was the pillar.
Yeah.
The central piece of it. Even like the Lions, when they got that playoff win, like Barry Sanders got you 60 minutes to the Super Bowl alone, like by himself. Now, obviously, he had Lomas Brown and stuff like that, but he was the pillar. You see what I'm saying? Like, there is a process involved, and I think, honest to God, we've forgotten that.
No, but
We feel like it's a right that, and because it goes back to the Thanksgiving Day game, and it goes back to that Washington Capitals game, where we thought as though this was our right and this was our time.
see, and that's another thing where, and I know we got to get to break in a second, where I'm going to repeat what I said before. I'm not always here, but I'm always here. I thought the comparison was absurd, was 100% absurd, because in the Packers Thanksgiving game, the Lions were 8-2. That loss didn't really. It was tough. It was disappointing, but it didn't cost them anything. It may
Really? Because it felt like it on Monday when we did the show.
Well, but they bounced back, and credit to them for doing that. But they were 8-3 at the time. It wasn't the worst thing in the world, although you probably played a role in letting the Packers have some life and them eventually getting into the playoffs. But whatever, that's neither here nor there.
Well, it turns out it wasn't the worst thing in the world of the Red Wings either.
But it could be.
Yeah.
It could be. And I know you got hot goalied and all of that, and I know that's the excuse that a lot of fans are using. And that wasn't a bad loss in terms of the way that they played. However, it brings to light some of the ass whoopings they got at the hands of Arizona, for example, or giving up 7 goals to Buffalo, or starting it all with a loss to the New York Islanders and losing a couple to Pittsburgh and losing a couple to Washington. It's just, including that one, and then another overtime loss. Those are the things. That's why that loss could end up being one of the ones you look at as, yep, we're not making the playoffs because you lost that Washington Capitals game.
And you didn't have insurance.
Hey, but now you do, and you know where you should get insurance.
Where should you?
Swiss Insurance, of course. And I've got some good news, and I have some bad news.
Well, give me the bad news first.
Bad news is insurance rates are going up, but the good news
Tell me what the good news is.
The good news is Swiss Insurance helps get you covered. And with the first pick in the 2024 draft, Detroit picks Swiss Insurance Group, Woodward Sports and Detroit's top pick for your insurance needs. Keep your current provider honest and price out Swiss today. Go to SwissINS.com or call Mark today at 313-530-1698. Again, that is 313-530-1698, Swiss Insurance.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy? It's Planet Fitness. Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
Thank you to the Detroit Lions and Sheila Hamp for the best season in Lions history. Now it's time to let Brad Holmes cook. Woodward Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
When it comes to chicken sandwiches, I have the MVP. That's right, it's the Shake Shack Chicken Shack Sandwich. And guess what? You can get the MVP because it fits under any salary cap. How about free? With a $10 purchase, that's right. Grab a shake, grab a crispy crinkle fry, and your Chicken Shack will be free. Use a promo code Woodward in person, online, or download the Shake Shack app today. Guys, if you haven't done this yet, give it a spin. They brought them through here. We've gotten them. I've taken advantage of it, too, with the promo code Woodward. You should do it as well. That's right, a free Chicken Shack sandwich with the promo code Woodward with a $10 purchase. Promotion available in all 7 Michigan Metro Detroit locations. Promo code Woodward, Chicken Shack, the best chicken sandwich in the game from Shake Shack. All right, keeping it pushing here. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal, Ruhl, Flannel, Sam, hour number 2. We got KG. We got Spencer Raxter. We have all of you as well. What do you got?
Before we get into anything in hour 2, like Tigers or Lions or whatever we're going to talk about, I did want to bring something up that I know would hit home with both of you gentlemen. It came across my feed as I was scrolling through it, so I grabbed the picture and I threw it up there. Because did you know that this season, setting a career high in games played was Anthony Davis with 76 games played for the highest total in his career. Care to comment? I know this is very important in both of you.
No, it is, because I think that Anthony Davis, with that number, has shown you that, in fact, there is no bigger Iron Man in the game of basketball than Anthony Davis. That a man that answers the bell, a man that shows up, and bigger than that, a man who will rock jorts and a sweater like no one else.
Yeah.
Anthony Davis, a true basketball Iron Man.
He ain't street clothes no more.
Hey, should be Defensive Player of the Year, by the way. He won't get it, but that's neither here nor there. He had a fantastic season. He played 76 games. Let's see what happens in the playoffs. Obviously, the Lakers gotta win the play-in first, and probably gonna have a tough matchup. But we shall see. If I were a team like, say, OKC, for example, I wouldn't want to see the Lakers. That's all I'm saying. Denver has already shown that they can sweep the Lakers, at least last year. Yeah. But if I'm OKC, I don't want any part of what the Lakers have to bring. That's my thoughts on it.
A true Iron Man.
Hey, 70 in the modern NBA, 76 games is a lot.
It is.
It is.
Did you expect any less? I know I did not.
I didn't really know what to expect this season. I'm just glad that he played 75 a couple of times early on in his career, but 76, you can't say anything about his durability this season.
Who farted in the Woodward Sports chat? L. Davis is back.
He's never left.
No?
No.
He got cooked by Jokic last year.
Well,
He did.
And say he left the playoffs when he came across Nikola Jokic's path.
well, get in line. I'll just say that. Get in line for that.
Hey, that wasn't the narrative then, because I made a lot of money off that series.
You did.
And you know what else, too? Good for Data Davis, because his career high on games played got the Lakers the 6th seed, or excuse me, the 8th seed in the Western Conference.
Yeah. Thanks, Darvin Ham. Thanks, Torian Prince. That's all I'll say to that.
Damn.
Darvin Ham's a bum.
Bum.
He's a bum.
Is that who? That's who we moved to now on it? Who was it before Darvin Ham?
Rick Carlisle or
Frank Vogel.
Well,
Vogel,
they
yeah.
kind of fumbled the bag ever letting him go, honestly.
Yeah, they
He's a
should've
really
kept
good
him.
coach.
They should have kept him.
He's a really good coach.
Yeah.
I just wanted to put it out there.
Fair enough.
Yeah, great catch, Spenny, by the way.
Thank you.
I should have been on that. I should have known that, in fact, Anthony Davis is the modern-day NBA Iron Man.
He is. More games than Kawhi.
Well, Kawhi's another story for another day. He's missed whole seasons. He's missed whole playoff runs.
Is Joel Embiid the MVP again this year?
No.
Nah, not even close.
It's probably Luka.
Yeah.
Luka and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander have a case. I don't care what anybody says. Nikola Jokic certainly does too, and he's probably going to win. But those two have a case. That's not even a controversial statement.
Okay. I just want to put it out there. WoodwardSports.com chat thread. The keys to wisdom. It was a team effort. Isaiah was no more of a pillar than John Stockton, who had Karl Malone.
He won 2
Comparing them
championships.
two is crazy.
Yeah, that is the difference. The Jazz never won one.
That's a casual take right
Very
there.
casual
Yeah.
take. I could have as many assists as John Stockton did if I ran a pick and roll.
Well, that's also
Exactly right. With Karl
that's also-
Malone in that era. Come on.
I know. I just saw it, so I wanted to make sure that we addressed
running a
that.
pick and roll with the best low post scorer in the history of the NBA.
Right.
Every single play.
During 90s basketball.
Not hard to get assists.
Like,
Let me see. Coop says AD is a joke this season.
Well, you're just not watching.
He's having a good year.
You're just listening to. You're not changing your narrative. That's all you're doing. He's never been a joke.
yeah.
He's a Hall of Fame basketball.
When he's on the floor, absolutely.
All right, that was it. By the way, too, speaking of John Stockton, Utah's getting a hockey team.
Yeah.
Really?
Shout out the Coyotes.
Yeah, Coyotes missed their bid.
Damn.
It makes more sense
How
in Utah.
sad is that?
The Utah Mormons.
They should, yeah. The Soakers.
The
The Utah Soakers. That'd be hype.
Drop your best Utah hockey name in the chat.
It's
by
gotta
the way.
be
Let's,
Soakers,
Let's
right?
do that.
The Utah Polyams.
Yeah.
KG, what about the white folk? The Utah white folk, huh? What do you think?
Utah white folk. Hey, that hits, man.
You're like, see, that
it
works,
rolls
doesn't
off
it?
the tongue, man. Utah white
Salt
folk.
Lake City Swingers. I think Salt Lake City Soakers would be the best. Yeah. Plays both ways. Like Mormons known to soak. And,
SLS?
Yeah. Like, come on.
The Utah team of Latter-day Saints.
All right, let's take 3 minutes. All right, we're going to take
Let's
3
go
minutes.
Red
Get your
Wings
shit
Party
off.
says the Utah Stormin' Mormons.
Stormy Mormon.
Nova G the One, a.k.a. Gouda, says Utah Caucasians. Oh, man. Utah Hive says
You could have an alternate jersey, the Cox.
You're right.
Cox. Yeah. Hoof-hearted, the Utah Saltines. Robert Colosia, the Salt Lake City Magic Underpants.
Yo, shit.
Oh, man. The Away fans, Salt Lake Sister Wives.
Salt Lake Sister Wives. That's great.
Man.
Yeah. Because you got to remember, the only Utah pro sports team got their name from being originally from New Orleans.
Yeah.
The New Orleans.
Yeah, the first thing I think about when I think of Utah is jazz music. That's
You're right.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
So let's go
Miss
Red
me
Wings
with
Party,
that.
the Utah Caitlin Clark fans.
Jay, the Utah Rock Pillars.
Well, because look at their
Coop,
college.
Utah
Yeah.
West Bloomfield.
I don't know why that one's making me laugh so much.
Look at Utah's colleges. A really, really creative name, the Utes.
Yeah,
and
the
even the
Utes.
Utah State, they're the Aggies. Get in line. You're like the 10th team to be the Aggies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My vote is Soakers. I think the Salt Lake City Soakers, that would be electric.
I like Stephen David, the Utah Colts.
Yeah, that's accurate.
They could have the punch, the different color punch at every game.
With
That-
the Utah Colts.
Yeah.
Nicholas Duncan, the Utah Neighborhood Watch.
That's hilarious.
Do Mormons play hockey? I don't know. I can't speak to
The
it.
Salt Lake City Managers. Let me speak to your manager.
I knew that. I knew you guys would deliver.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I knew you would.
Yeah.
And I knew it would be a great bridge segment right there. Yeah. Danny G says the Soakers is by far the best.
Right.
The Caucasians got a lot of run too.
Caucasians
Yeah.
would be good.
Yeah.
You like white folk more though. You could come out to the game for white folk Sundays?
Yeah.
Oh, they won't play on Sundays. Will they?
Yeah,
Give
they
away a
can't play
wife at every game.
Damn.
Oh my God, dude. Wife giveaway Sunday.
Right. First 5,000.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
you guys,
shit.
all right. That's it. I feel like we're approaching. Anybody else get the feeling it's going to get dangerous
Yeah,
here
it's
in about
gonna
30
get bad.
seconds?
Just hop out now. Jump out the plane now.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Tell them about the QB challenge. I feel like that's a good transition to get out of this.
QB
The Utah
challenge.
SPF 50s.
That's a good one.
That is a good one.
The QB challenge. If you can throw it on a rope, you can win 2 tickets to this year's home opener. All you have to do is sign up. It's the Shake Shack QB challenge. You can sign up by scanning that QR code or going to woodwardsports.com or going into any Shake Shack location. And it's not like, oh, maybe we'll pick you to give you a chance. No, if you sign up, you are entered into the tournament. And if you win the tickets. So sign up, you're in, you win, you're at the game. 2 tickets to the home opener. It's the QB challenge presented by Shake Shack.
The BGCSM 3C Sports Conference is coming during NFL Draft Week, starting on April 24th. Special guests will include Jerome Bettis, Barry Sanders, Eddie George, Aleem McNeil, Calvin Johnson Jr., Sean H. Wilson, Cynthia Freeland, Adam Scheffner, and more. This event is open to athletes, coaches, and parents, but space is limited. So go to our website and purchase your tickets today at www.bgcsm.org.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports. Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Neal Ruhl here for Feldman Automotive since 1996. Basically, Feldman Automotive has been the best in the game. They got a fast, convenient, first-class car buying experience. It's called the Feldman Advantage. There's 18 Feldman Automotive locations, so you know there's one close to you. And it's across all brands as well. Now, of course, Feldman Chevrolet is Michigan's #1 Chevrolet dealer. Who's the best in the game at getting you a Chevy. Also, great service department as well. I can confirm. I'm currently in the process with that. Was able to get my rental car. It was a breeze. Walked in, got the rental car, got out. They'll let me know when the work is done. So that's in play too, guys. Not just necessarily about buying a car. You all have cars. Those cars need to be serviced. Feldman Automotive. There's 18 locations. They can take care of you in that regard as well. It's Feldman Automotive. All right, keeping it pushing here. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Sam Flannel in for DMAC. We have Spencer Raxter. We have KG in the house as well. Just having some fun with the Utah hockey franchise name. KG, you said your personal favorite was Utah White Folks.
Yeah, I like that.
All right.
The folk.
The folk, yeah, folk Saturday night, you know. He shoots and scores. It's a goal for the White Folks, you know. Does it work or no?
It rolls off the tongue.
I think it does work. So, you know, that is it. Soakers was Spenny's choice because, of course, it was.
Salt Lake City Chokers.
Yep.
Soakers.
Yeah, absolutely. Tigers got a split yesterday.
Yes, sir.
Did want to touch on that because I will tell you guys this, and I want to pull it. I want to pull this up now because I want to be up to the minute. And because I actually texted this to my buddies yesterday where I think people don't realize this, Sam Flannel.
Yo.
But when you peruse the wild card standings as it sits, the AL Central right now has 2 of those 3 wild card spots. Therefore,
Yeah.
when you look at the Tigers and say that they're 9-6, they are 9-6 in the toughest division in baseball.
4th best record in the AL right now.
That's
the
what I'm
Tigers.
saying.
Wow.
Like,
Yeah.
Sam Flannel, get in here.
Hey, one thing that I'll give the Tigers a ton of credit for, because when you look at the series against the Twins as a whole, you had that first game on Friday where they played probably their only real complete game of the season with 8 runs, Tarek Skubal being dominant. And then you had that first game of the doubleheader where I'm not going to fault Shelby Miller for giving up an 8th inning tying home run. It happens. But what you can't do is you can't hold, in this case, the Twins scoreless in the top of the 10th, in which they start with a runner on second.
And
then
Flannel,
score in
I'm
the
happy you brought that up because no one's going to talk about that.
Yeah.
They're going to say, oh, it was Shelby Miller. No.
Yeah.
No.
They spotted you a runner on second, and you couldn't score a run to win the game.
You've
Couldn't
got
do
to
it.
you've got to get that run in. If you can somehow, because shutting a team out in any half of an extra inning is a big deal, because they could literally just hit, I don't know, a ground ball to first, runner advances, little pop fly, bloop,
Game over.
sacrifice fly. That's it. And the Tigers the Tigers prevented that in the top of the 10th, and they weren't able to score in the bottom of the 10th, and that was bad. And obviously they had that terrible inning. They lost the second half, of the doubleheader. But I'll give the Tigers credit for this, and this is something you can't deny about them. They have a flair for late inning heroics.
Yeah.
They did it again. Down 3-0 in the bottom of the 8th. Javi Baez with a big solo home run to get the scoring started, and then you had Mark.
He's back.
Hey, you had Mark Canha with a 2 RBI double that was helped out by the third baseman maybe misplaying the ball, but that's neither here nor there. You had
That by the way, that was scored a double.
Yeah.
That's comical.
It's all right. It's all right though. Shout out to Mark Canha. It helps his
It worked
average
out.
out. And then Spencer Torkelson with the clutch RBI single.
Yep, blooper right in the
A little blooper. You got to give him credit for this. If it weren't for some of those extra inning wins early on in the season, and another example would be that game at Pittsburgh where they were down 3-1 in the top of the 9th and scored 4 to come back and win. If it weren't for some of those games, this Tigers season might be looking at their typical slow start. So the fact that they're able to pull some of these wins out, their starting pitching is giving them enough. When they don't give them enough, usually their bullpen, like for example, that game where Jack Flaherty gave you 6 and 3 earned runs, which is a quality start, by the way. The bullpen didn't allow any runs. They allowed for the Tigers to be able to make that comeback. They didn't let it get out of hand, and they were able to win. This wasn't the first time they had done something like this. They've done this constantly throughout the season, these late inning comebacks where they were down 3-0 in one of the Mets games, scored 3 in like a single run in back-to-back innings, and one in the 11th. You saw it in another one of the Mets games where it was 0-0 and then had an offensive explosion in the top of the 10th inning. If it wasn't for these late inning heroics, the Tigers might be getting off to one of their typical slow starts, but the fact that they have might allow for some of these guys who aren't hitting at the level that we know they're capable of to get hot. They haven't tanked their season yet, and you got to give them credit for that, for the way they've been able to pull these wins out and ultimately be at 9-6, despite not playing well for large portions of the season. Like 80% of the season, you could say they haven't played well, but they've done enough to be 9-6.
No, and that was my first thought too, because I heard Shelby Miller being booed in the stadium and
that
stuff
was
like
crazy.
that.
Like, come on.
And like, I'm glad that you brought that up, Flannel, because that was an offense-blamed loss right there. So you're telling me, for every person that was in that stadium booing Shelby Miller on Saturday, right? So you're telling me that the bullpen has to be perfect for 162. That's what you're telling me, right?
It's crazy.
That's what have I always said prior to that home run which he gave up? Prior to that, Shelby Miller, you could argue, was the bullpen MVP of all of baseball throughout the season. All of those 3 wins he was getting, those times where he's held opponents scoreless in the extra innings, which we talked about was really hard to do. Sometimes you give up a home run. It happens. Your ERA is not going to be 0.00, and he gave up a run. But when you can somehow hold a team in the top of the 10th scoreless, you've got to score that run in the bottom of the 10th. But despite the fact that they didn't, and that 12th inning from hell happened, the fact that the Tigers were able to get a split in comeback fashion with the defending World Series champs coming to town, it's not the most ideal thing in the world, but if you can get a split, considering how poorly you played for large portions of the series, especially the last couple of games, I'll take it. I'm not thrilled or overjoyed, but I'll take it. And we'll see what happens next.
Man.
No, and I think you and I are kind of on the similar wavelength as far as it goes. Because through all this, right? Wait a minute, I almost fell for that. Hold on, I almost fell for that. I'll say it, and then you guys tell me if you think this is a legitimate thought from somebody or not. Woodwardsports.com chat thread. Jay, Javi Baez may be the best bat on the team when he's hot.
Well, they're
Jay,
they're
you have no evidence of that since he's been here.
Exactly.
None. Since the second he showed up here.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
You simply have no evidence of that ever because he's never been hot.
Lower your blood pressure.
On Friday, he was hitting 172. Today, he's hitting 140. And you all think it was a good weekend for Javi.
He's back.
Because by Javi standards, it was a good weekend because he actually got a hit. The reason I can let this go is because I don't think you were being serious with that. So we'll continue. All right.
No, really?
The moral of where I was getting to with the statement before that came across the feed is
don't do it, Neal.
the roar of 24. El Mago will be fine. Okay. All right, now he's okay. There it is. The Salt Lake City Promise Rings. That's a pretty good one, too.
That's hilarious.
That's a pretty good one, too. The Utah Door Bangers.
This is just...
All right, anyway.
Quick.
Where I was driving at, Flannel, is I'm kind of similar to where you are, and even I will say it this way. There are ebbs and flows to the season, and obviously it's a super long run, and this thing will be going on until October. With that being said, when you look at Parker Meadows, who has been an absolute Javi-esque, Parker Meadows has been so bad that Javi Meadows, or that Parker Meadows has been so bad that Javi Baez goes to him and says, "Hey man, you got to step it up a little bit with the bat."
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like that's how bad he's been.
They need to put him in Toledo.
Yeah, send him down.
Because you can't steal first.
Nope.
Yeah.
He's been a black hole. Javi Baez is hitting 140, and people are telling me he's had a good run. Like, you think about it, 7, 8, 9 in this lineup has been egregious.
Oh, yeah.
Egregiously bad.
Yeah.
And they're still 9 and 6. And here's where I will give the Tigers credit, KG, and this is what you can't account for when you look at a season. Spencer Torkelson, until as of late, has been a black hole. He doesn't have a home run.
Yeah.
The 30 home run guy does not have a home run. Now I'm not one to pile on him because he's got a 30 home run resume. He's done it. I've seen it. I don't worry about him. I saw the signs from Riley Green that he's popping out of it a little bit.
Yeah.
You look at how awful this lineup has been, and they're 9 and 6.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
And these are the things, KG, like as this plays out, those are the things that I am encouraged by.
Yeah.
Because through all of that, now have they played quote-unquote good teams? No, they played their division. But guess what? Their division's not filled with good teams.
Exactly.
It's just not. These are the waters that they're in. And I will say this. You're going to see stretches of this. And guys, the Tigers will win 6 of 7. And they will lose 7 of 8.
Mm-hmm.
And what I will not do is I will not ride the Lightning and then get all flipped out about it when they lose 7 of 8. I'm not going to do it because that's what this team is. And that's what they are, Flannel. That's what they are. They have kept their head above water despite a historically bad offense. 7, 8, 9 is useless at the back end of the lineup. And look, if you were sitting there having a beer with somebody, like Parker Meadows would be the first person to say, I have to be better.
Of course.
Yeah.
I have to be better. If I want to stay here, I have to be better. We can't live like this. Even though they're 9 and 6.
Sure.
I guess that's my overriding message to the people. They're 9 and 6.
Yeah.
Somehow, some way.
Yeah.
Like Kenta Maeda has been bad. Right?
Yes.
Right?
However,
He wasn't that bad this last start.
He pitched well enough to win in his last start, which in and of itself is encouraging.
Right.
It is encouraging.
John Flaherty's ERA, like he's gotten you to the 6th inning, but his ERA is 5. You know what I'm saying? Like the Tigers are like full of this.
Hey.
You know, they got a guy hitting 087. But they're 9-6. You know,
Yeah.
like they've overcome it all.
But you know what keeps games close, and it happens time and time again? That bullpen. I gave you a bunch of examples at the beginning, but even the second game of the season where Kenta Maeda got shelled and gave up 6 runs. But the bullpen was able to hold the White Sox the rest of the game, and the Tigers were able to tie it up in the 7th and then win it in the 10th. It's just, when it comes to late inning magic, the Tigers just... It's been unbelievable what they've done. 7 out of their 9 wins have involved some sort of late inning, either heroics or magic. You even look at the home opener, in which Tarek Skubal was the one game in which he didn't allow 0 earned runs. Skubal allowed Oakland to tie it, but Gio Urshela came up with a big double in the bottom of the 8th inning. It's just what this team does. It's the reason why they are 9-6. If it wasn't for these heroics, we would be talking about them having a start very similar to last year. And what do we want to avoid? We want to avoid those terrible starts because in 2023 and in 2021, in the months May through September, they've had a winning record both years.
Yeah.
It was just over before it even began. And this year,
It's different.
let's hope that they can at least get a split with the Rangers and end April with over 500. But as of right now, they have pulled victory out of the jaws of defeat several times. And when you're a team that's struggling, you mentioned Parker Meadows, you mentioned Jake Rogers, you could mention even Colt Keith and Spencer Torkelson for portions. Hell, even Riley Green for portions. Nobody on this lineup, except for maybe Matt Vierling and Gio Urshela and maybe Kerry Carpenter, and you could argue Riley Green, has been hitting up to their level of capability. What we've seen them do in the majors, including guys like Jake Rogers and Parker Meadows. But yet they're still 9-6. Spencer Torkelson doesn't have a home run and has an OPS in the 5s. They're still 9-6. It's not going to be that way forever. At least that's what history will show. They're going to get out of it. At least some of them are going to get out of it.
But the flip side is the bullpen won't be like this forever. Not like this. It can't sustain like this.
Sure, but Shelby Miller, he gave up a home run. That's going to happen. Yeah. We've seen Tyler Holton give up a couple of runs. It's not like they're flawless. It's not like they're unblemished. So I could see them at the end of the season having one of the best bullpen ERAs in the majors.
Yeah. And I agree with that.
That's your strength. Above average,
and that's what it's going to take for the Tigers to win this division. It probably, honestly, what it will take for the Tigers to win this division is the number 1 bullpen in the American League.
Yeah.
Is that outside the realm of possibility? Absolutely not. It could happen.
It could definitely happen. And the number 1 pet store in Michigan is Premier Pet Supply, because Premier Pet Supply is hands down Michigan's best pet store. Same prices and all the conveniences the online and big box retailers, with one major difference: they're family and locally owned and operated for 30 plus years. Over 60 brands of food with nutrition experts to help you, and same day local curbside home delivery. So make sure you hit them up at premierpetsupply.com, or you could call them today or stop into one of their great locations. Premier Pet Supply, hands down, Michigan's best pet store.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
And with the first pick in the 2024 Media Draft, Detroit selects Woodward Sports. Thank you for making us the #1 digital network in Detroit. Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today. Congratulations to the real Coach of the Year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports.
What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people. This is exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC, the same great service that customers have come to know and trust. On Woodward Avenue, just south of 9 Mile. Check out Les Stanford in Dearborn today at lesstanford.com. Les Stanford Chevrolet, together Let's drive.
All right, keeping it pushing here. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal, Ruhl, Sam Flannel in for DMAC KG, Spencer Raxter, all of you in the Woodward Sports chat thread. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and jump in there. Hell, you guys program the show from time to time. Partially because some of the times you guys are good and partially because some of the times I'm lazy. But, hey, it all evens out.
It works.
In the wash, absolutely. I'm glad to see this, too, because, and this was going to be my point, and he never gets talked about. Lorena Rios, AJ Hinch is a real magician. The Aurora 24, AJ Hinch is a genius. I'm not worried.
Absolutely.
He's an elite manager in baseball.
Hey.
I will fight you if you say different.
He's done a lot with a little. Absolutely.
And what is one of the things that, especially in modern DH baseball, that you can control as a manager? You can control your bullpen. You can control who you put in, who you take out, and obviously their talent and their ability as pitchers and how many great pitchers they have is the biggest reason why their bullpen is good. But the fact that AJ Hinch has created some very advantageous matchups for certain players, like at the beginning of certain ninth innings where they had an Andrew Chafin lefty to start, for example, and then Jason Foley closing it out. And then in another example with doing the same thing with Tyler Holton and then Jason Foley. Those are some things that you can control. Even pinch hitting Andy Ibanez, and he was able to come through with a game-winning hit in one of those games. He's as far as having a managerial season so far, I would give him an A, 100%.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Matthew Kruger, Neal, tell me why I shouldn't give up totally on Alex Lane. He's just torrid this year.
I'm not liking what I'm seeing from him.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that. You can give up on him for sure.
He's never going to be the closer again, that's for sure.
Yeah, set up from here on in.
But yeah,
I'd send him down, honestly.
He's as far as the bullpen goes, really, is there anybody besides him who's not having a good year?
No.
You can't say, yeah.
You can't.
Even Will Vest there, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Will Vest, huh? I think you still could send down Lang. I don't know how many times he's been sent down, so I don't know what the story is. I know he's still in pre-arbitration this year. So you do have options that you can do with him. So
Okay.
yeah, I wouldn't be against that because it is an area of depth that you have. So it's not like you couldn't overcome it. Steve Wilds are not all flawless like Neal. Maybe they should get on my level, Steve.
Yeah.
Turn your click up.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, maybe Steve Wilds. The Aurora 24. Why are we scared of the Rangers? Well, you should be.
Yeah, World Series fucking champions.
Yeah, what?
Like, what?
Yes.
No, and I didn't even say scared. What I said is you have the defending World
Right.
Series
Have you
champions
seen
coming
their
to your house.
pitching? Fucking,
I mean,
that's crazy.
no, I mean, that's why I say if the Tigers can get a split and then end this homestand 4-4.
Right, best case scenario.
Yeah,
is a split.
that's a win. And if you take 3 out of 4 from the Rangers, you should be doing
Right.
backflips.
Then you roll around. You got a away series back in Minnesota. So
yeah,
And that's it. Like, I would take that too. You go 4-4.
yeah.
4-4 in that 8-game homestand.
Yeah.
I would take that for sure. That's what this is. This will be a series of survive in advance.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
seriously,
So I definitely would. That was a huge win yesterday.
Yeah.
Huge win.
these games have to stop going to extras though.
Like, think about that, though. If you lose that game yesterday and the Rangers take 3 of 4 from you,
It doesn't. Yeah, doesn't look good.
You cannot lose 3 out of 4 to Minnesota, a team that I think will end up being worse than maybe we would have thought at the beginning of the year, after losing your first home series to the lowly A's. Although they do have that bullpen pitcher that's a pretty sweet, throws 100 miles an hour, but still, that's neither here nor there.
if you lost 3 of 4 to the Twins and then the Rangers take 3 of, now you're sitting 2-6 in that homestand, and the entire world looks different.
Now you're talking about the old adage, you may have been in the stages of losing it before you can even like
true.
Torkelson gets hot. You know?
Right.
So we don't want that. So shout out to the Tigers for winning that game, and then even going back further to the game at Pittsburgh with a 4-1 run rally in the 9th inning. It's been I think Easy said something on Twitter about them being the cardiac cats, and it's true.
Yeah.
Right now it's true.
And they
Rally
haven't.
cats.
They
Rally
haven't
cats,
been injured to this point too. Knock on wood.
Knock on wood, yeah. No,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Only Andy Ibanez.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread, Mitten made the Salt Lake City Sinners. I wanted Vegas to be called that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that fits
that makes
Vegas
sense.
way better.
I know. I can agree. Anakin says that. Save that for the Vegas team. WoodwardSports.com chat thread, Danny G. The fact people are still listing names for Utah's team. This is a great bit.
Yeah,
I think
it
like
is.
we can use this now. Anytime there's ever relocation or a new sports team, I think we can run this one back.
One time during the heavyweights, we had what movies would make the best porno titles. It went the entire show, whole 2 hours.
Oh, shit.
It was awesome.
I'm stunned.
Yeah, great show.
Wink, wink.
I'm stunned by that. But AJ Hinch though. That is.
Yeah.
I've been staying on AJ Hinch.
Yeah.
There's just something about even when I hear him do interviews, like I would play for that dude. I would follow him if he were my leader. I would follow him. Just the way he answers questions. He's never run from any question. He addresses it.
Dude
and he's
knows ball.
100%. And he's like, the thing that I really like what he does too in his interviews, he's like, I can understand why you would ask that question because that has been a struggle.
Oh, yeah.
Like he doesn't,
Acknowledges the problem.
yeah, he doesn't like spin job it away and say,
Yeah.
well, no, like that's, I don't really see what you're seeing. He's like, no, I see that too.
Yeah.
Here's the thought process behind it.
Yeah, and honestly, the fact that AJ Hinch is even the Tigers manager is a gift.
It
And I
was.
think a lot of Tigers fans appreciate that gift and have, enjoyed his managerial tenure. I think he did a great job in 2021 and in 2023 as well. And shoot, if somehow this Tigers team can win the division, you got to give AJ Hinch Manager of the Year. 100%. But I also feel like AJ Hinch is grateful for the opportunity as well, because I'm sure there were some dark days after he was forced out of Houston, where he
of
thought
course.
maybe I would never get this opportunity again. So maybe that's why he's
No, there were teams lined up for AJ Hinch.
Well,
AJ Hinch knew he was.
in the initial, but leaving Houston though,
After that
leaving that
scandal, yeah.
that wagon of a team, probably costing himself another World Series as a manager. That's tough. In the initial stages, I'm sure there was a lot of reflection. I'll just say that.
a lot of reflection. Speaking of Houston, they're 6-11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, the mighty have fallen. The pitching looks a lot different for them.
That's
I will say that. I haven't really gotten deep into baseball like I typically do this time of year.
Yeah.
But as we get it going and I sit outside on the patio more,
Yeah.
that's kind of my thing.
We'll get it still early. But
MLB TV, I spin
Yeah.
it around, have a beer after I mow the lawn. That's how I operate.
Yep. That's a one of my must-get streaming service, MLB.TV. Get it every single year.
You roll out, huh?
Oh, yeah.
I like it, Sam Flannel. I like it. Hey, we're live at the Planet Fitness Studios. You guys know what it is. It's Planet Fitness, the best gym in the gym game. I've been a member for 3 years. I'll never be a member at another gym because Planet Fitness is goated. I'm a Black Card member, $1 down, $24.99 a month. Shout out the Black Card. Gets me access to over 50 Metro Detroit Planet Fitness locations and over 2,500 worldwide locations. Shout out Coconut Creek, Florida Planet Fitness location. It's tougher to work out down there, man.
I bet.
Like it's tougher. Like, when you flip on that football in college or flip on that college football on Saturdays and you wonder why all those dudes from Florida are the ones running around the field, go down there for a minute. You'll understand. But hey, it's all good because I can go to any Planet Fitness in the world because I am a Black Card member. You should be too. The best facilities, sparkling clean facilities. Get you your shower, get about your day, go on about it. Tons of cardio equipment, tons of weights, the 30-minute circuit if you're in a rush. Somebody earlier said 80% chance it's back day for Spenny today. What is it today?
It's arms. Back day is Thursday.
On Monday, we do arms.
Monday we do arms.
I love it. Absolutely. Hey, was in on some arms today, too, as well. But you can do it all at Planet Fitness. Pull in the parking lot, join there. Go to planetfitness.com. It's Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential. Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists. Enjoy a precision haircut, hot lather neck shave, scalp and neck massage, and a hot towel treatment to top it off. Enter for your chance to win the $50,000 Perfect Bracket Challenge. With more than 25 Metro Detroit locations, there's always a Lady Jane's near you. Lady Jane's Haircut for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
And with the first pick in the 2024 Media Draft, Detroit selects Woodward Sports. Thank you for making us the #1 digital network in Detroit.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Nashville Hot Chicken is
Yes.
back at Soroki's. They got the
Yes.
tenders, they got the sandwich, but they also have loaded fries and the all-new Nashville Hot Pizza. It's a limited time offer, so come get it while you can. They have 11 different locations that you can choose from, or you can order and pick it up from the website Sorokis.com. Come enjoy the delicious heat while you still can. Nashville Hot Chicken is back at Soroki's.
Coming down the stretch already here. Big D Energy on a Monday. Neal, Ruhl, Sam Flannel in for D-Mac, Spencer, Raxter, KG as well. All of you, Woodward Sports chat thread. Get in there and get your thoughts out there. I don't know about this. Let's go Red Wings party. If only Chris would have allowed AJ to bring Correa here instead of Javi, we'd be in first in the division. Probably would have won it last year. Carlos Correa was Javi-like last year. He hit 230 and he hit 230, man.
Yeah, but he actually takes his walks. I believe his on-base percentage
was 312,
which is better than what Javi had. But no, the year before though he was very good.
Hey, how about this? How about maybe, just maybe, you had a shortstop somewhere in the system. There is legitimately no shortstop anywhere in the Tigers organization, anywhere.
Unless you believe in Ryan Kreidler.
Yeah, you don't.
I think I've seen enough.
You think you've seen enough?
But don't get me wrong. I would legit take him here right now.
Yeah, I was about to say
100%.
you would call him up in a heartbeat if
100%.
you were in control.
Don't get it twisted. But how about, it's arguably one of the most important positions in the game of baseball.
Yeah.
Like maybe we would have one. Maybe A squared would have thought like, hey, probably should be trying to figure out the shortstop situation here in the draft.
Yeah. Also would have been nice to not get the worst one out of that class.
Mm-hmm.
How's Corey Seager doing? I'm just saying.
No, I know you're just saying. All right, NFL draft. I told you we were going to start to get into it this week. We are going to go heavy draft, and we're going to ramp this thing up. Although I do want to lead off with this and it's a great question. Spenmo came up with it, and I think it's going to make for great debate. I think it's even YouTube poll worthy because I do want to see where the people are at with it. It's a very simple question. More likely, do you think Brad Holmes moves up or moves down?
We were moving on.
I am going down with this one.
Ooh.
Okay.
Are you yelling timber?
Yeah. Yeah. Ha. But here's why I say I think he's going to stand pat at 29, but that's not the question. I think he's more likely to move down. And one of the reasons, at least for me, is because I don't know if there's somebody who you could trade up for that would help you win next year more than somebody you could get at 29. There might be. Like I said, I would trade up for somebody like Leatu Latu, for example. I would trade up for Jackson Powers Johnson. However, there's some options that you could trade back to in the second round and still have some really good players available. A guy that I'm looking at as far as somebody that I could see the Lions picking in the second round to potentially trade down for is Edgerrin Cooper, linebacker from Texas A&M. That's kind of my second round potential pick for the Lions, especially considering I think Derek Barnes is somebody that you could maybe cast off after this season being in the last year of his contract, a guy who could rush the passer, a guy who can cover, a guy who can stop the run. I would like that as well. It's just, I feel like trading up is something you do for a glaring need for this team this season. And as I said before, you could argue a corner. You could certainly argue an edge rusher opposite Hutch, but Marcus Davenport and James Houston has potential. There's a lot of corners in that secondary room, although all of them have a question to some extent. So for that reason, for the reason that I think their starting lineup is almost already set, I say they're going to trade back. That's just my opinion.
Woodward Sports chat thread, Taylor Shantz, the Utah Utes, but it's short for uterus this time.
Ooh.
Okay.
I like it.
we were taking names for the Utah hockey team. That's how this all started. If you're just kind of parachuting in, it hasn't always been like this.
Utah fetuses.
Salt Lake City Soakers.
The Utah pro-lifes. Let's not do that.
That's from KG, everybody. Please remit your correspondence to KG
I'm good.
appropriately.
I can't be at it, so it's all good. They can't at me.
Yes. All right. Great. WoodwardSports.com chat poll. What's more likely? Brad Holmes trades up or trades down? 67% of the people more likely that Brad Holmes trades up. And that's kind of where I live too. Because if you're asking me the question, what do you make your bet? What do you think they would do? He has shown a propensity where he will go up and get his guy.
A lot of spots too.
If there is his guy in a spot, that's his spot. See, like, here's the thing. With Brad Holmes, why I think it works so well in terms of the draft is it's not just his guy. It's not just I'm going to move up and get my guy. It's I'm going to move up to get my guy at my spot, at my cost of acquisition.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's not – I don't think – and, look, we'll have no way of ever proving this. I would like to sit and have a drink with him one time and kind of talk philosophy about it. And I'm guessing that he would say that we for instance, I think he would say we really valued Jamison Williams.
Right.
Really valued him. And he was a target for us. And once it got to a spot that we were comfortable, i.e. the Vikings, who people pretty much said the Vikings took kind of below market for that. If you bust out your trade chart and you were going to add it up, the Vikings went a little below market.
Sure.
And he identified that, and that's where he made his move. So I think, now if it were me, what would I rather see them do? I would rather see them move back because I want all the ammunition for Brad Holmes. Any extra pick I can get, I would do. I want all the ammo for Brad Holmes. However, as Sam said, that's not the question.
Yeah.
I think it's more likely that he would trade up because he's shown an ability/desire to do it.
Well, even in that draft that you're speaking of, he could have stood pat and probably taken like a George Pickens or a Christian Watson, but he didn't want that. He decided that Jamison Williams was his guy, and he went up and got him. You even look at last year, and last year was a little bit different because he traded back within the first round. I think for everything we've heard is that if Devon Witherspoon were available at 6, that's probably who Brad Holmes had taken. Those are just reports. However, the Seahawks took him instead. And Devon Witherspoon has turned out to be a pretty damn good player. But the Lions, they wanted to take a running back. They could have taken Bijan at 6, but Brad Holmes felt confident that he could trade back and get further draft capital and get compensated to go back to 12 and take Jahmyr Gibbs. He's shown a propensity to, as you said, get his guy when he thinks he's going to be available. I mean, he even had to trade up a little bit to get Brian Branch last year. It's just this draft, I think, could be a little bit different because in previous drafts, you're looking to get starters, guys who play right away, guys who fill immediate holes. This year, there's not one that, in terms of starting level players, is that glaring. You have who you could argue is your starting lineup already intact, although injuries, of course, they're going to happen, but a knock on wood. That's why I think it's unpredictable, and also why I think it's more likely that he trades back because he knows that. Because the reality is even though Brad Holmes has hit on a ton of later round picks, the ones who usually play right away, the ones who usually become those Hall of Fame level players, get picked in the first round. And I don't think that that's necessarily something that the Lions need to get this year as opposed to when they definitely did in the previous 3 drafts.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Stephen Baffey, but also Neal as a cap guy, if they can get an elite talent, that 5th-year option is massive. Well, yeah, but you're comfortable because if they're getting their full-on 5th-year option, like the mega money, they made multiple Pro Bowls because everything is tiered. You have to show us. I call it the Rick Ross option. Show us. Because your number is based on what you've shown.
Sure.
It's the last bastion of that
100%.
where you're basically the rose. That's because I've always said I think that's what kind of endures the PGA Tour to people. Where on the PGA Tour, you do not get 1 cent that you don't earn.
Absolutely.
Who won the Masters?
Scotty Scheffler.
Okay, yeah.
Ran away with it, too, at the end.
Yeah, makes sense.
All I hear about is Scotty Scheffler can't do this and can't do that, and there he is, winning the majors all the time. So that's pretty wild to me.
I just want to respond to one thing that like Chuck Brewer said. Wrong, you are always looking for starters and move your starters to backups. That's how you improve. And I understand that. It's just with what the Lions have already done in free agency. DJ Reader made it so that getting a starting level defensive tackle, I don't think is just a must make. You must make that pick. Same with getting Carlton Davis and hell, even Amik Robertson in a free agency. Especially with losing Cam Sutton, you needed to make some moves, and you did. Hell, Kevin Zeitler at guard. It makes it so that it's not imperative that you draft Jackson Powers Johnson at all costs, even if you have to move up because he needs to start right away. I would love to draft Jackson Powers Johnson, but that's not my point. My point is that you already did fill some holes with guys who are proven starters, and obviously the guys like Hutches and the Paneys and the Amon-Ras and the Jahmyr Gibbs and so on and so forth, Brian Branch, Ife Melifonwu. Those aren't guys who you're looking to replace as starters. Yeah. Those are guys who you think can be starters on a Super Bowl level team. That's more my point, is that starters, guys who are going to contribute right away, it would be great if they got them. It would be wonderful. But like the Kansas City Chiefs did last year, they only really got one who started and played the whole season right away, and that was Rashee Rice, because they had filled so many holes with previous drafts, and obviously with all-time greats like Mahomes, Chris Jones, and Kelsey. You don't need to hit this one out of the park in terms of what they have to do this year.
Let's go Red Wings party. Top 10 finishes in all events this season for Scotty Scheffler. Unreal. It is unreal. But all I hear is criticism about the dude's game, which kind of makes me laugh about. All right, final break. When we come back, we will wrap this thing up. Tell them about Lady Jane, Samuel Flannel.
Absolutely. Awesome is when a guy can be a guy and get an amazing haircut. That's Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Stop in and sit back and relax. And let one of Lady Jane's talented stylists make you look and feel great. Walk in anytime, 7 days a week. Lady Jane's. It's wicked awesome.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy? It's Planet Fitness. Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports. Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Everybody get those Detroit sports wearables. That's right, woodwardsports.com/shop. We got the best in the game. The Stoke Not Scared t-shirt, the Brad Holmes guy t-shirt, all of it's out there. The beanies, the hoodies, those are still in play. It's April, guys. Come on. Don't act like you're not going to pop a beanie on one or two more times. Look stylish doing it. woodwardsports.com/shop. Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Flannel, KG, Spencer, Raxter. Let's go Red Wings party also. And we never did touch on this. Question for the show. If you were in the Masters, but your wife was due any moment with your first kid, are you withdrawing from the Masters or are you missing the birth?
I mean, you would.
I'm
That's
missing
tough.
the birth.
Yeah.
So am I.
It depends on where I'm at.
If I'm like 7 over or something like that, then I'd probably withdraw. But if I'm in contention,
there's no doubt about it.
Yeah, it depends on where you're at.
That's a great point, Spetty. And I wanted to give this guy a shout out. One of my good friends, his name is Austin. He won a lottery and actually was able to go to the Masters with his dad this week.
No way.
Yeah, he actually brought me back a Masters cup, which I forgot to bring. Damn it! I'll bring it to Wake Up Woodward tomorrow and show it off to you guys. So shout out Austin and thank you for the gift. You're the man.
Shout out Austin. That's dope.
That is pretty dope, actually. Yeah. But yes, and it's funny too because he said all the right things, and because we were talking about it with me and my golf buddies over a text all weekend. Yeah. Like, I'm like, hey, man, he's in first.
Yeah.
He ain't leaving. Yeah. There ain't no chance he was leaving. Yesterday, she goes into – because I was like, dude, you're home free, right? Like, you play and you win, and you can say, well, the process started, and then I got to go, guys. She's in labor right now. I got to leave. Right. And you get to miss all the media stuff.
Yeah, sure.
You just get the check, and then you leave, so that would have been win-win.
That is a fantastic point, one that I didn't even consider.
Yeah.
And, yeah, you – especially if you have a chance to win, you stay.
Yeah.
And if you do win, that's your hey, honey, I won the fucking Masters.
Yeah.
Right? I'm just
a couple $1 million.
Yeah.
About 15 or I think it was $18 million was the number one purse. That's going to help out the kid's life.
Absolutely.
Yes.
A lot of diapers.
Yeah. Like, the kid's not even going to remember who was in the room when it was born.
Yeah.
But when it goes to college and it was never an issue.
Right.
That kid's going to remember his dad won the Masters.
100%.
Right. Sure.
Absolutely.
It's documented.
So there's no doubt about it. Mike O, Neal going all Rick Ross on the clones. We built it ground up. You bought it renovate. That's a great line.
Shout out BBL Drizzy.
Right. Shout out Rick Ross over the weekend, man.
What happened?
Let out some fire, man.
He put a Drake diss verse out there. It was good.
Really?
Yeah, hip hop is in a.
When did they fall out with each other?
It's a lot going on in hip hop right now.
I don't know, honestly. They were boys for a while, but not anymore.
Apparently,
request for Thursday on the Urban Update.
I got you.
Which you said we're searching for a new name for.
Yeah,
I
think
Spin the Block with Kenny.
Oh, I kind of like that one. I was gonna say the Tap In, but I do like Spin the Block.
Yeah, I would leave it up to the chat.
Yeah,
but I'm not going to do that.
Please don't.
I'm definitely not going to do that.
I love y'all, chat.
Especially with the turn that the Utah hockey team names have taken over the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
No, I'm not reading any of those.
The Salt Lake City short staffs.
There will be no insurrection references or any of that stuff, dude. We don't go that route on this show. We're not doing it. But can I make a request for the...
You absolutely can, because it's been a big...
Spin the Block, Urban Update.
Yeah.
Can you bring me up to speed on the rap game? Not, I keep up with the music.
Yeah.
But let me know wherever. I had no idea that Drake and Rose were at odds with each other.
We are in a Avengers level state in hip hop right now. Are we? So yeah.
Who knew, Sam?
I mean, I know because you guys keep me up to date. Yeah. Otherwise, I would not. And I'm definitely a rap fan, a hip hop fan. But as far as this stuff goes, it's not really my thing. But it's really, really something that a lot of the boys here are passionate about, and I love to see it.
And maybe by Thursday, Kendrick will enter the chat.
That would be awesome. Yeah.
So maybe I have some more news for you. But yeah.
Yeah, there is a rumor that he's got his diss track ready to go. There's a rumor that it's going to be called Pray for Canada in the Ville, and it's going to be 5 to 6 minutes long.
Hide your kids, hide your wife, just go in the house.
Yeah.
When that Kendrick song hit the speakers, just go in the house.
Oh, yeah.
It's not safe out here.
I don't know that I like this.
It's not safe out here.
I'm really excited. I just want to see.
It's great for the sport, though.
If he calls him a pedophile, it's just that'll just be great.
Hoof-hearted, people saying Drake got a nose job. And you guys come through as you always do.
Yeah, it's a lot going on. Yeah. I'll just leave it at that. It's a lot going on right now.
You know what, though? Good for the streets, KG.
Yeah.
Good. If the man rolls out, if you're a rap star and you roll out with a nose job, we can't have that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you can't be doing that.
Now, look, I know I live in the hills and everything like that, but remember, I am good in any hood in the yak. Remember that.
You ain't walking around the yak with Botox in your cheeks. You ain't doing that.
No, I would never disrespect the streets like that. Never. I'm not getting a nose job.
And this is why we respect you, Neal.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not walking out front Pontiac Central with a nose job. I'm not doing that.
Nope.
Come on, Flannel.
Nor should you.
No, man. That's Rick Ross wears fake APs.
Hey, I will not accept any Rick Ross slander right now.
No.
Nor will I. You know what?
Yeah.
No, Rick Ross is the man.
You chill on Renzel.
Yeah.
I wanted to go in on Tom Brady in this segment right now, but I couldn't even do that because I'm glad.
Tom Brady's so random.
Because I'm glad.
Yeah, what did Tom
I'm
Brady
glad that the streets still value Rick Ross.
Yeah.
Is he at the top of his game? Certainly no.
I mean,
he's never put out a bad project.
But
he's never
he's underrated.
Done that.
Yeah. Never put out a bad project.
He's in the top 15 of current hip hop right now, I would say.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's rich.
Yeah, like stupid
He buys
rich.
buffaloes. When he brought a buffalo back to his house, I love you. You're home now. He's also the funniest dude in rap.
Yeah,
like,
no,
by
He's
far.
a great Sam. He's a great Instagram follower. You should follow.
Oh,
man.
I do follow him. I do follow him. And Rick Ross is one of those. I like him fine. He's not really my style per se, but he's got talent, and he's put out a lot of good songs, made a lot of good music. So shout out Rick Ross.
Yeah. I like it too, like when he has his buffalo or whatever, and he's petting it and it runs. Look, the buffalo runs. Look at it run. Run, buffalo.
It's the best.
It is. It is the best.
Neal, you don't wear Dockers with no underwear, do you?
No.
Okay, good. I'll explain more later in the week.
Okay. And I think we're going to ride off on this one because through it all, this is the best one of the Utah hockey team names.
Oh, God.
Kyle Swede. The Salt Lake City separate bedroom.
Oh my God.
This shit is crazy, man.
I think that's a good place to stop.
Yeah.
It's not going to get any better than that. For Sam Flannel, for Spencer, for KG, my name's Neal Ruhl. Thanks for tapping in, Big D Energy. Well, see you later.